Welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I have my bee suit on, which means today I am going to be making another beekeeping video. If you remember my last beekeeping video from a few months ago, I put a honey super on top of the main hive box because the bees were starting to overpopulate the main hive box. So I put the honey super on because they were ready for new space and I was ready to get some honey from them. I checked on the honey super last weekend and they drew out comb on all the frames and most of the frames had honey that was waxed over. So today I'm going to be trying to do my first honey harvest ever. I have all the equipment I need, so I'm gonna get started. So this is called Bee Quick. This is a fume board. I had the fume board in the sun for a while because that's what the instructions say. What Bee Quick does is you spray it onto this cloth and it will absorb the Bee Quick into the cloth, and then you're gonna take the main lid off of the beehive and then you're gonna replace it with this cloth lid which will have the Bee Quick on it. And the bees don't really like the Bee Quick, so they're going to try to do what they can to avoid it by leaving the top super and going down into the main box. And once they're out of the top super, I'll be able to take it off without too many bees in there, and I'll be able to brush off any extra bees that could have stayed in, and then I'll be able to bring the honey super in for extraction. So I'm going to spray it. You don't need to spray it a lot. Okay, that should be good. Now I'm going to get ready to put the fume board on top of my hive. So I have my smoker ready. I'm just gonna smoke my bees. Then I'm gonna open the lid. Gonna smoke them from the top. Gonna pop open the inner lid. Okay, here we go. Gonna smoke them a little bit again. This is a beetle blaster. This black thing, just to trap any beetles that could enter the super. Because I do not want another beetle invasion. Let me just take that off carefully without spilling any. Looks like there's no beetles in it, so that's a good sign. Set that down. I'm gonna show you a frame real quick. as you can see, there's honey in the super frame. It's all capped off with wax on both sides. So, and this is kind of heavy too. This is probably like 5 pounds, maybe 8 or so. So I think I'm gonna get a pretty good yield of honey. Okay. Got my glove caught a little. Now I'm going to put the fume board on to bring the bees into the bottom hive box. Okay. This should take about a minute. So I'll get back with you in about a minute or two. And by then the bees should have gone into the bottom box. So I took the fume board off, and there's definitely a lot less bees on the honey super frames now. They must have, a lot of them went into the bottom box, the main box. So I'm going to get ready to take the super off, brush off what's left of the bees in here, and then I'm going to bring the honey super to where I'm going to harvest the honey. Okay. I just finished taking some of the frames out of the hive. I got 3. The rest of them seemed like there could have been more work to do on, like they weren't completely capped off. So I took these 3 because these 3 look the best. And now I'm going to get started with the extraction process. So this is a scraper tool that you could use to just scrape open the wax and get to the honey that's on the inside. I've seen some people use hot knives that are like electric. You could plug them into an outlet and then they just kind of glide across the wax. That'd probably be more efficient, but this is what I have now, so I'm going to use a scraper. This is my first time doing this, so let's see how it goes. I don't want to do too much damage to the comb, so I'm going to try to be gentle with it. I just finished scraping open the wax cappings on all 3 frames. It definitely took a while. I think that it would have gone much quicker with a heat knife. I just don't have one right now. If you do have a heat knife, I would definitely recommend using that over a scraper. It'll also probably keep the comb looking nicer, because the comb also kind of got torn up a little bit from the scraping. But for now, it'll work just fine. So now I have the frames in my extraction centrifuge tool. So I'm going to crank the crank on it. It's going to spin the frames really fast, and using centrifugal force, it's going to fling the honey out to the sides, and then I'll be able to extract the honey from this little spout. Put this lid on, and I'm going to get started. So right now, I'm cranking it, and I can see the frame spinning. Just gonna try to apply pressure so it doesn't shake on me that much. And then after I finish doing this for a while, I'm going to flip the frames so that they'll be facing the other side, and then I'll be able to get the honey out from that side. I just finished extracting the honey from these 3 frames. I'm not sure if you can see that, but the cells no longer are filled with honey, which is good. Just empty comb. All the honey is down there at the bottom. It's not a super high yield since there were only 3 frames that were ready to be extracted from. But I think I'll be able to fill up a few jars. I'm gonna leave that in there for now. Then I'm going to put this tin underneath this spout. Okay, it's underneath. I'm gonna open it up, see if we can get some honey to flow. Okay. Oh, look at that. It's not a whole bunch, but I think I'll get quite a bit. And then I'm gonna tilt the whole thing forward, and that should give me a little more. And then once I have a bit of honey in the tin, I'm going to pour it from the tin into this filter. It's gonna go through the filter, and then all the wax is gonna remain at the top of the filter, and the honey is gonna drip down to the bottom of this bucket. And then finally from there, I'm going to use this bucket to bottle the honey into glass jars. So as you can see, the flow is starting to slow down, but once I tilt the whole thing forward, you can see that there was a lot more in there still. I just finished straining all the honey. See all the wax that got caught up at the top. Now for the final step, all I need to do is bottle the honey in these 8-ounce jars. So I'm just gonna carefully take the little butterfly screw off, or the little butterfly nut, and then I'm going to open up this little valve, and then I'm just gonna do it barely so that I get a nice slow flow of honey, because I don't want it to overfill and make a mess with this jar. I'm gonna try to set up the camera in a way where it'll get it on film, because I really don't want to do this with only one hand. Okay, so I'm just gonna unscrew this carefully and then gently lift the lever as carefully as possible. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Here it comes. Fill it up. Okay. That should be good. Close it. Probably should have put a towel underneath just to get any extra drips, but I already have this tarp so the bathroom floor wouldn't get all sticky. Okay, so I just need to do that for the rest of these jars. And then I'll have all my honey jarred up. Okay. And put the lid back on. And look at that. A jar of honey. I just got finished bottling all the honey. I got 12 of these 8-ounce jars filled up. Yeah, 12. And one larger jar filled up. I didn't weigh how much that they are total, so I'm not sure about the total yield and weight, but for only 3 frames from the Honey Super, this is pretty good for my first honey harvest. My bees have definitely exceeded my expectations and I'm very proud of them. Anyways, that's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed the process of me harvesting honey from my bees. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.